Hello, friends, how are you? I hope you are fine. Today we share information about Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie is an Australian actress and producer. Known for her roles in both blockbusters and independent films, she has received several accolades, including nominations for 2 Academy Awards, 3 Golden Globe Awards, and 5 British Academy Film Awards. Margot Robbie was born on July 2, 1990 in Dalby, Queensland, Australia to Scottish parents. Her mother, Sari Kessler, is a physiotherapist, and her father is Doug Robbie. She comes from a family of 4 children, having 2 brothers and 1 sister. She graduated from Somerset College in Majiraba, Queensland, Australia, a suburb in the Gold Coast hinterland of southeast Queensland, where she and her siblings were raised by their mother and spent much of her time at the farm belonging to her grandparents. In her late teens, she moved to Melbourne, Victoria, Australia to pursue an acting career. From 2010, Robbie played the character of Donna Friedman in the long-running Australian soap opera, Neighbours 1985, for which she was nominated for 2 Logie Awards. She set off to pursue Hollywood opportunities, quickly landing the role of Laura Cameron on the short-lived ABC series, Panem 2011. She made her big screen debut in the film, About Time 2013. Robbie rose to fame co-starring alongside Leonardo DiCaprio, portraying the role of Naomi LaPaglia in Martin Scorsese's Oscar-nominated film, The Wolf of Wall Street 2013. She was nominated for a Breakthrough Performance MTV Movie Award, and numerous other awards. In 2014, Robbie founded her own production company, Lucky Cap Entertainment. She also appeared in the World War II romantic drama film, Suite Française 2014. She starred in Focus 2015 and Z for Zachariah 2015, and made a cameo in The Big Short 2015. In 2016, she married Tom Ackerley in Byron Bay, New South Wales, Australia. She starred as Jane Porter in The Legend of Tarzan 2016, Tanya Vanderpool in Whiskey Tango Foxtrot 2016, and as DC Comics villain Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad 2016, for which she was nominated for a Teen Choice Award, and many other awards. She portrayed figure skater Tonya Harding in the biographical film I, Tonya 2017, receiving critical acclaim and a gold. When you look at movies, the lead girl is always gorgeous and thin. There is a stereotype that you need to look a certain way, and when you get in the business you really feel the pressure. I was always very dramatic. My family would probably use the word dramatic as a child. Always putting on performances, making everyone come watch, and pay to watch. I was very business savvy as a child. I love flying so much. I even like airplane food. No one bothers you and your phone never goes off, and you can't have emails go through. It's undisturbed. Certainly, there's a huge appeal to the single quote 60s, because it was such a big turning point to everyone. It was the era of change, the boiling point. People rebelled against things: the hippies, the feminists, the protesters. All these things just built up and boiled over. I think people can relate to that today. The single quote 60s are my favorite decade, with the Cold War, the women's movement. And then there's the music, the fashion, the clothes, the hair. New York is the coolest city. The place just never sleeps. It's amazing. It's fascinating to see how versatile New York City is. It lends itself to being so many different places. I kind of left everyone behind in Australia, all my friends and my family, and I had to break up with my boyfriend. I just try to keep healthy more so than trying to be thin. Every time I see a piano, I have this urge to play it. You know, it's a tough job, but someone's gotta do it, so it was a nightmare. On achieving such rapid fame in Hollywood, it was a bit weird to begin with. I hadn't ever met a famous person before. I had no idea what this business, industry, or job could be like. On Harley Quinn the comics are radians. I hadn't read any growing up, but now I'm obsessed. I read them in my own time. We went to Comic-Con this year and I didn't get to be in and amongst it because we were shooting, but the energy is insane. People are nuts. I could go as Harley Quinn in the actual costume from the movie, and somebody there would have a better one. On dating Tom Ackerley I was the ultimate single gal. The idea of relationships made me want to vomit. And then this crept up on me. We were friends for so long. I was always in love with him, but I thought, oh, he would never love me back. Don't make it weird, Margot. Don't be stupid and tell him that you like him. And then it happened, and I was like, of course we're together. This makes so much sense, the way nothing has ever made sense before. I think I could handle the partying side of being a war correspondent, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like to live in a war zone on a daily basis. It's a very difficult and dangerous job, and I have so much admiration for the journalists who are able to handle that life on a daily basis. On her Queensland, Australia origins, I had no idea I was living in a state that gets laughed at until I moved to Melbourne. And then someone was like, "You're from Queensland, eh? You put 'eh' on the end of your sentences, because you're all a bit slow." And I was like, is this a thing? That Queensland is the dumb state? It's so embarrassing. On going to red carpet events, I think I enjoy the getting ready part more than the actual event, to be honest. If I dress like this, people don't look twice. It's as soon as I put on makeup and a dress and have my hair done, I can't get 10 meters without being recognized. I think nudity for the sake of nudity is shameful. If they've put it in just so that a girl gets her top off, then that's disgusting. And you can always tell. But I also think it's disgusting when someone would have got naked in real life. In the film they conveniently leave their bra on, or hold up the bedsheet. Seeing someone being choreographed into being covered up irritates me just as much. The whole point of Naomi Lapolia is that her body is her only form of currency in this world. I've done scenes where it's leading into sex or sex has just finished, but I hadn't done a start-to-finish sex scene like I did in Wolf. That was my first. After hearing descriptions of herself, wow, well, they clearly haven't met me in person. But thank you for the ego boost for the day. That was exceptionally kind. On perfecting an American accent, the one word that trips me up is home. I don't know if that's a psychological thing or a mechanical thing. It's a vowel, especially since I'm from Queensland and don't have the most rounded accent to begin with. On preparing for the role of Dr. Harleen Quinzel, I ended up looking into MP testings. It's a test that psychologists use to determine what mental illness people might have. It's a list of 500 questions or something. Whenever we had time to rehearse or improvise, or even in the scenes, I'd just start with those questions. Some of them are basic, and some of them are not. I'd see which ones would catch him off guard, how he'd react, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna go for this tactic now. It's a lot of trial and error. It's kinda like when your friend is doing something stupid in a relationship, and you're just so frustrated. You're like, what are you doing? Why? I landed upon codependency as the tack to take. It's like a compulsion, I suppose. When you start looking at it the way an alcoholic is compelled, needs to have a drink. You think of it in those terms, like it's an actual psychological problem, which codependency actually is. On working after The Wolf of Wall Street 2013, I was worried that people would be expecting too much of me now, like if Scorsese cast her in a film. She must be brilliant. Instead of having the chance to surprise people, I was worried that I'd disappoint them. On playing Harley Quinn, to me, there's always two characters. There's Harleen Quinzel and there's Harley Quinn. There are moments where Harleen takes over and that's when she can be rational, and then Harley takes over and that's the more erratic side. I know that my look is more toothpaste model as opposed to artsy, which sucks because I can play those roles. I am definitely not the best looking. I did not grow up feeling like I was particularly attractive. You should have seen me at 14, with braces and glasses, ganglion doing ballet. If I look good in Wolf of Wall Street, I cannot take full credit. It was because of hair extensions and makeup. On Once Upon a Time in Hollywood 2019, I adore Tarantino films, so I just couldn't have been more thrilled to see him work firsthand. It was fascinating. And directors just work so differently. Like, every director you work with, their process, their methods of what they gravitate towards, the way they kind of articulate their ideas, or execute their vision, it's so wildly different, and it's such a gift as an actor to see it firsthand. 2019. I didn't go university, I don't have a degree, I didn't do theater, I'm not classically trained, I learned on the job. On the differences between women and men conversations, the funny thing is I feel like girl chit-chat isn't necessarily that dissimilar to guy chit-chat. I think